Okay, everybody, welcome to Module 6. You're getting a break from me now. And I would like to introduce one of my dear friends, Mike Rhodes. So Mike Rhodes is a Google Ads expert. He founded a Google Ads agency called Web Savvy. He's absolutely the best person to learn Google Ads from. And I'm so excited to bring him in because now that you understand the fundamentals of paid traffic and you've learned the Facebook platform, it's time to scale and broaden out to platforms like Google Ads.
G'day, it's Mike Rhodes here from AgencySavvy.com, and this is the AdWords Fundamentals course, recorded especially for Molly Pittman and the wonderful guys over at Digital Marketer. This is roughly about a 10 module series. It's going to take you from sort of 0 to 80% hero. It's not everything about AdWords. It's the 20% that's going to get you 80% of the way there, get you started, around about an hour's worth of content all up, and I'll break it down into little chunks for you just to keep it bite-sized and easy to consume. And we're going to start in this first module with a bit of big picture of what AdWords is and how it can help your business. And before we talk about the technical stuff, let's just remember for a second that this is all about people. This is about getting people into your business. And we tend to look at big numbers, and we talk about, I'll talk about the lingo in the next module. We talk about impressions and click-through rate and all this kind of jargony stuff. We need to remember these are individual people searching for something that is important to them, and we're trying to get your business in front of those people so that they discover you and hopefully come and choose you and buy something or opt in or call you or whatever it is that your business does. So I'm going to map all of the modules that we go through in here, map these to your prospect's journey. So they search for something. They jump onto Google and search for something particular. If you have a matching keyword, and we're going to talk about that in the keyword module, what that means, if you've got a keyword that matches what they're looking for, then they see your ad. They may or may not choose to click on your ad, at which point you choose where they get sent to. It could be the homepage of your website, could be to any page within your website. When they get there, they do something. Hopefully, maybe they don't, but hopefully they do something. And we get to track that and find out what it is that they do. Do they fill in the form? Do they call the phone number? Do they buy something from you or not? And then based on that data that we get, based on all of that tracking we do, we get to make changes inside the AdWords account to get more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff. That's essentially what we're going to be doing through this course. So we're going to start with a bunch of modules here. We'll start with the lingo, and I'll explain the jargon to you and have a bit of a tour of the new AdWords interface. Then we'll talk about your business goals and how you sort of map that to your AdWords account so that we're all pointing in the right direction. There's no point doing AdWords if you don't know which way you want to go. Then we'll talk about keywords. We'll talk about ads and ad copy. Then we'll start to build some stuff, and we'll build out campaigns and ad groups. That's the structure of your AdWords account. We must talk about tracking and how to track all of this stuff that people are doing. And then we can talk about how to optimize the AdWords account. In other words, how to get more of the good and less of the bad. And I'll finish with a few just overview, a quick look at some of the more advanced topics, just to sort of wet your whistle a little bit there. I don't want to overwhelm you if you're brand new to AdWords. You might have been doing Facebook for a while, or you might be brand new to digital marketing. So I'll just let you know there about some of the stuff that's possible without trying to teach you every single thing. And if you've ever read one of Tim Ferriss's books, The 4-Hour Chef, for instance, which is a book about learning disguised as a cookbook. And this is his method for teaching. It's his DIS method. So you can kind of ignore the I, but D and 3 S's, sorry. Deconstruction, selection, sequence, stakes. Deconstruction is just, let's pull this apart. Let's look at the Lego pieces that make up the thing that we're trying to learn about. So I'm going to break it down, and in the next module we'll talk about the lingo. Once you understand the meanings of about 20 or so words, the whole thing makes so much more sense. Robert Kiyosaki taught me this about 16 years ago. Whenever you learn anything, learn the vocabulary first. Doesn't matter if you're learning Latin or Italian or AdWords or real estate investing. Learn the meanings of about usually between 10 and 50 words. It doesn't need to be frightening. Once you know the meanings of those words, everything makes much more sense. Then it's my job to choose the selection. So which of all of the things that I could teach you about Google AdWords, which would probably take 100 odd hours to do everything, what's the really, really important stuff that's going to get you, like I say, the 80% of the way there and get you up and running a good AdWords account, get you better than most other advertisers. Okay, you may not be, on par with some of the guys on my team who have been doing this for, say, 10 years, but that comes with experience and practice. The sequence is really important. If I were to start with tracking and talk about quality score and talk about negative keywords before we've talked about keywords and ads, before we've talked about the lingo and understanding your way around, so I've very carefully put the modules in a specific order that I hope will get you the result that I'm after, which is building on top of that knowledge. And then stakes is simply, you got to go do it. You got to put a little bit of your money on the line. Now, that could mean that you do it for someone else. Doesn't mean you have to do this for your own business. Doesn't mean you have to be selling a product in order to learn Google AdWords. But certainly going and doing this, a little bit like riding a bike, you can't learn from reading the book. You have to go do it. And that's what's going to really improve your learning. So what is Google AdWords? Well, it's been called the greatest direct response machine ever invented. Direct response. I'm a direct response guy. I'm not a branding marketing guy. I care about the result of the dollar spent. So for every dollar I tip in, I want to get 3 back, or 7, or 28, whatever it is, but I want to get a positive return on that dollar that I'm tipping in. I want to get more than $1 back, in other words. It's also called the traffic store, and Ryan Deiss has called it this many a time. It's where people go, and so we want to go to where the people are. They're looking for websites. Let's put our website there in front of them so that they can find us. And if you haven't been convinced yet why you might want to use it, well, it's very, very fast to get results. You may have heard of SEO, search engine optimization, whereby you put content on your website and you tweak things and you do it in a certain way and you pay somebody money to do it for you. And over time, the idea being that your website will rank higher in the Google search engine. So for various keywords, your website will go higher and higher and higher up the page, heading towards that mythical #1 spot. Everybody wants to be #1. That can take months. If your SEO guys are good, it might take weeks, but it often takes months. And for a competitive keyword, for a keyword that lots of other businesses want to be #1 for, it might take 6 to 12 months, or even more. With AdWords, you can be showing ads on the first page within half an hour. Now, you have to pay for those clicks, but you can at least get an ad up there and test your assumption. Is this a keyword I should be buying? Is this something I should be spending money on? Should I be showing on the first page? Should I be showing in Austin as well as New York as well as London? Or is it only profitable in Austin? Or only profitable Monday to Friday? That's the stuff that we're going to be able to do once we've got our AdWords account running. It's also very scalable. Once you find bits that are winning, you can scale that up. And we'll talk about that as we go through. So it's very predictable because it's measurable and scalable. It's predictable. It's a vending machine, not a slot machine. As Dean Jackson, one of the greatest marketers out there, often says, you want to build a vending machine, not a slot machine. A slot machine is a gamble. It's a guess. A vending machine is incredibly predictable. I put $1 in, I press the button, and a can of Diet Coke falls out the bottom. I know exactly what I'm going to get for my dollar. That's what you're building by building a really, really good AdWords account. I won't call it a money machine because things can change, competitors can bid more, lots of different things can change, but you're building a very predictable marketing machine. And your ads can be all over the place. We're mainly going to focus, or actually we're only going to focus in this course on the search side of Google AdWords, the left-hand side there, where everybody's familiar with what Google looks like and the 4 ads at the top of the page. There's also ads at the bottom and obviously ads on page 2. It looks slightly different on a mobile device, but there is so much more to Google AdWords. There's this thing called the display network, whereby you can show ads, like you see down here on the right-hand side, ads on Oprah.com, or on CNN or ESPN, or one of 2 million plus websites, most of which you or I have never heard of, covering all manner of topics and discussions. And you can put your ads on any of those. Yes, you have to pay if somebody clicks on your ad, but to put your ad there is free. For the 99% of people that see it on those display sites, it's free branding, and you just pay when someone clicks. You can also put ads on YouTube. The wonderful Tom Breeze in the UK is the expert on YouTube advertising and video advertising. You can put ads inside Gmail, inside apps on people's phones. There is almost no limit. Obviously, the other huge traffic source is Facebook, and that's what Molly is talking about in the rest of this program. So I'm going to talk about AdWords and specifically the search side of AdWords. And I'm going to focus on what we like to call the bottom of the funnel. So you've probably heard Molly talk about this before: tofu, mofu, and bofu. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. I'm going to focus on the bottom of the funnel. In other words, after people have done all their research, the bit where they get the wallet out and they're ready to buy. That's going to be the most profitable place for you to run ads, the most profitable keywords for you to bid on, where they are most likely to have a positive return on investment. So we're not trying to do branding here. We're not trying to get people to remember our names. We're trying to show an ad to people that are ready to go, hot to trot, pulling the credit card out. By showing an ad to those people only to start with, we've got our best chance of increasing our return on investment. So there you go, quick introduction. Quick 10 minutes of AdWords, what it is, how it can help your business. I would love it if you stick with us for the rest of the modules and come and understand how AdWords can work for your business. I'll see you in the next module.